Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Katerina Kormas, certified mindset and confidence coach and believer that everything you dream of creating in your life is possible for you. This podcast is so much more than about being an entrepreneur. It's about being the woman who unapologetically and fearlessly goes out after what she desires. This is where you shift your mindset, your beliefs, and your perspectives and ignite your confidence so you can transform your life and business. This podcast is all about living life your own way, deeply connecting to your own intuition and leading yourself to success. This is where you become an energetic match for all that you desire in your life and business. Your wildest dreams and fulfilling life are waiting for you, and I'm so grateful to be able to guide you along the way. I'm so glad you're here. Grab your favorite hot beverage, your headphones, and a journal, and let's jump in. Hello. Welcome to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur Podcast. I am here. I made it. I am sure I'll have to edit out a lot of coughing. I have been sick the last 3 weeks. I've been trying to get my podcast episodes done, but my body just needed a little bit more rest. But I'm here today. So glad to be back. And today's episode is kind of a bit of a reaction brain dump slash tough love slash soul to soul guidance for those that can relate to the common themes I've been seeing among newer entrepreneurs that I've been working with. And I think it's not just newer entrepreneurs. I think as business owners in general, these things happen along the way as our confidence drops a little bit, as we do new things in our business. Some of this we get caught up in, especially in the nature of the social media world. And we'll get into that in a second. But I really wanted to come on today to share this message because I've just seen this pattern in almost all the women I've been working with lately. And if you've found yourself struggling with any of these themes, I want you to know you're not alone, that there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. And they in no way mean you cannot have or you will not have a life and business you desire. A lot of these themes that we're going to chat about, they're conditioning and they're a result of what we're experiencing and being subject to out into the world among other entrepreneurs around marketing and Facebook ads and Instagram ads and Pinterest ads and social media. And so it's very easy to kind of get caught up in the muck and it impact the decisions we make in our business. And I think that's the most important part of this episode is about I want you to be able to make the most authentic to you, right for you, aligned for you decisions in your business. This is your life you're creating. This is your vision you're creating. This is your business you're creating, and it gets to be yours. But sometimes, especially as new business owners, especially when you haven't had a business yet, and you're learning new things and you have to wear all the hats of visibility and sales and, the actual work you do in your business and all those hats, when you have to put all those hats on and they're all new hats and you have to learn all those hats and you're kind of feeling vulnerable because you're like, I don't know how to do it and I have to learn but I want to be successful, right? We, in our we're just in that vulnerable state. It's easy to make decisions based off of what we see as successful for somebody else, to seek out guidance and strategies that we see elsewhere out in the world in order to make quick results happen or make results happen. And we also have not necessarily been trained in our lives, and I say this over and over again, to trust ourselves. Our whole lives we have been conditioned. In school, teachers tell you what to do, what time to show up, what classes to go to. When you get to college, you have a little bit more freedom, but you're still told what you have to study and what classes you have to show up in order to be successful, in order to have the career, right? So we're always kind of taught when we grow up how to look outside ourselves for the validation or the guidance or the instruction instead of being teaching us how to ask ourselves what we want to do and teach ourselves to make decisions that are best for us. So I think a lot of the themes that are coming up really are about our ability to trust ourselves to make our own decision. Um, and so the most important thing to remember is that if you are feeling this way, in defeated, frustrated, all the stuff that's going to come up in this episode, um, it's a true indication that you are not yet aligned to your vision. You're not yet aligned or a match for what you are desiring to manifest and create in your life and business. Something, it's like an inner warning system. So when you're feeling like defeat and stuck, stagnant, frustrated, I feel like a failure, all of that, it's you're just not yet that match. It's a warning signal telling you it's time to do a check in with yourself. Your emotions are so key. They're either telling you like ding ding ding, you're excited to do this, this feels easeful, and I'm seeing results, I'm aligned, or it's like I feel defeated, I'm frustrated, I'm tired. That's just telling yourself, like your emotions are just telling yourself, hey, check in time. Something's not right. Maybe we need to check in to see if this is what we really want to be doing and the way we want to be doing it. So, at the end of the episode, I'm going to give you some really powerful journal prompts to help you get back on track to where you desire to be and what to look for and the shifts in your life and business and approach that will bring you the desired outcomes that you're seeking. So basically, over the past 6 months, 8 months, I've had the pleasure to coach a lot of newer business owners, somewhere about around like 30 new business owners. And I'm seeing so many common things that are derailing these really ambitious and talented women. And it's really hard for me to watch because when I listen to their deep desires and what they want to create in this world and their why for wanting to create it and what they're bringing to the world, I get so excited for them. Like, this is why I became a coach. I love the dreams these women have. And I can't wait to jump in and ignite their confidence and their clarity and their direction, from within. I want to ignite that from within them. It's not about me telling them what to do, it's already in them. And I love those deep conversations where we go and we lift that veil, that something that was telling them they couldn't do it their way. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I can. But with these 30 women, I can see how they are stuck and they're not feeling like they can fully be free to do it their way. There are things blocking them. And in many cases, when they started out, they worked with other business coaches and strategists, and they bought into all the pricey coaching and business platforms, and they've listened to the countless podcast episodes, and they've immersed themselves in all the quote unquote expert knowledge, right? So they've absorbed so much information of people going, you got to do it this way, you got to do it that way, this is the way to do it. This is what, buy this course and I'll show you how, and buy this and I'll show you how. And there's a lot of shoulds in there. And in every one of my initial coaching sessions, a common theme popped up that they were utterly frustrated and they felt defeated and they were overwhelmed and they were stuck in the why isn't it working? And when we dig a little deeper, there are these very common themes that are popping up, feeling forced or pushed or influenced into choosing a money making business that isn't a true passion of theirs, letting fears of not being successful or not having enough money or being miserable at their day jobs be the power behind the decisions in their business, being advised to start coaching business when they really don't want to be coaches, being advised to create passive income courses that didn't actually align with their vision or desired business model, being told the best way to build an audience is to do X, Y, or Z, right? The best way is to do webinars. The best way is to do summits. The best way is to do workshops, or, fill in the blank with what somebody taught them was the quickest way to build a business, even if it didn't feel right for them. Being encouraged to sell like a high ticket offer when they didn't even have an audience or any relationship. being encouraged to focus on things that weren't going to make them money right now, right? Being more focused on their website, or they didn't even have an email list or social media presence, and they were working on a website or a course, right? Showing up every day and doing the work in a way they thought they were supposed to do for success, but not seeing the results. And some of these women found themselves feeling like pushed or influenced to a specific business or create a specific business structure, even though it didn't feel right for them, to market their business in a specific way, to focus on things they weren't ready for in that stage of their business. Because that's another piece. Each stage of your business looks a little differently on how you show up, depending on the kind of relationships you have, right? Depending on where you are, and the momentum you have, or the systems you have, or the foundation you have. So even though it wasn't right for where they are in, their life and business, even though it didn't match their heart and soul vision, they still felt like they should be doing that. And as we know, the only way to manifest what you desire is to align the actions to your heart and soul desire, to your vision. And, I'd get on these calls with these clients, and the first call was a lot of this undoing process. And it's the work I love. I love the unconditioning. I love working through the fears. I love working through the shoulds. And it was really interesting, or it is really interesting, because every one of these clients that I work with, where they come and they just feel stuck, right? And that's why people come to coaching anyway, for guidance, but also because they feel stuck and they want to get the clarity and the confidence and the direction. But it's amazing to see how their energy changes as we start to unpack the shoulds and instead release their desires. And that's really what it is. Their desire, their vision is like trapped. And all of a sudden they feel this release, and they have this crystal clear clarity that was already in them. They knew exactly what it looked like and how they wanted to do it, because they were told they couldn't, or that wasn't the best way, the fastest way, right? They couldn't see the clarity. They had this renewed excitement for their business. They have a new sense of confidence, a new level of confidence. And it's like this kind of like sigh of relief, right? And where they were like unsure and confused before, you could see this like really cool spark when the clarity appeared, when they realized that they can do things another way that felt better for them. And as we talk about those other ways, you could tell, like, all of a sudden they were just like, oh my gosh. And all of a sudden the flood of ideas and creativity would come out. So, one of the problems that is happening in the online business world, in the social media world, is that, and it's nobody's fault, and we'll get to this in a second, right? Business coaches, course creators, strategists, we have to be marketers too, right? And there used to be like the bro marketing and play into their fears. And then like you'd be like, I have to join this course because it's gonna end. And if I don't, join this course and it closes, then I'll be destitute forever, right? Those kind of marketing tactics. But like a lot of people tend to play into, or know, right? They know their potential clients have a deep desire for making money and quitting their current job, right? So they know what their clients desperately want, and it's become a very toxic marketing pattern, um, in the entrepreneurial space, not just the coaching space, but in the whole online world. You're bombarded by these promises to make a certain amount of money. 10K months, 20K months, 30K months, whatever numbers out there, right? With this one specific strategy. So you're sitting there trying to build this business, and you probably have imposter syndrome, because we all do when we get started, because we're doing something we've never done before, and you have the imposter syndrome going. You think you don't know enough. Everybody knows more than you. Look at her. She's got it down. I don't know how to use this. I have a fear of being visible. I need to learn more because that'll give me more confidence, right? And so we have our own vulnerabilities. We're seeing all these things. We're seeing all these people be successful. And we're like, I just want that. I have this dream and I want it. And I want to be successful fast. And we're like, great, somebody's marketing to me and they're telling me there's a strategy. So these people sell on this promise that it's going to be easy and you can make a certain amount of money in such a short amount of time, that by doing it in a certain way, they'll be successful. And I am raising my hand right now that I have fallen into a lot of these traps in the last 7 years, depending on where I was in my business. And honestly, at the end of, I remember buying this course from this coach that I still admire a lot. Um, and I spent, I think it was like $2,000 or $1,900, something like that. And I was on this payment plan and I opened the course up and I started to take it. And I was like, oh, I just created a course like this for my own people. Like it had everything I'd already known. And it was in that moment that I realized, oh, maybe I don't need something outside myself, right? I had realized that was my aha moment of when I was showing up on social media and looking on my phone and scrolling. I was usually in a woe is me. It's not working. And when you're in that energy of it's not working, woe is me, I don't know enough, I'm not seeing the money in my bank account, clients aren't flooding to me. When you show up, you're more susceptible, right? To what you're seeing. When you're totally in your zone and you're completely feeling completely confident, you're loving your business, even if money's not coming in, but you're totally loving showing up, you're less susceptible to those marketing tactics because you're not leaning into and letting the I don't know enough take the driver's seat. You're letting the I love my business take the driver's seat, and it filters things so differently online. So all these people that are out there selling these strategies, like those strategies probably worked for them. Um, but what you don't see and not sharing is behind the scenes of those entrepreneurs of the years it didn't work for them. They tried all the other strategies and it didn't work for them. The countless pivoting to figuring out what was right for them. The years of growing their audience and nurturing their followers and getting to know people and collaborating to get to the place where they're making that kind of money or that success and they're actually living their dream life. And it's kind of like it takes years to have overnight success, basically, is the saying, right? It takes years to have overnight success. Overnight success is the moment it all clicks and it's completely aligned. So like when people are telling you there's a strategy, there is a strategy. It just might not be right for you. And you try it and you feel defeated, but they might be leaving out the fact that they have teams that are making it easy for them to make that consistent money, or the way they were showing up was perfectly aligned to the vision they had of how they wanted their business to work. And they market their knowledge in a way that implies that it will work for everyone without taking into account that we're all so different. We have different skills and gifts and things we're comfortable doing. And we have different visions and approaches and perspectives, and we have different backgrounds, and we are at totally different places with our confidence levels. And we haven't all been on that same evolution. We haven't all built up all the same skills. We aren't all comfortable on like social media platforms or knowledgeable on marketing or articulating like our messaging. And we as the consumers may not be aware that these are things about ourselves, right? These are things that, make us different or that we have different approaches. So when customers invest to learn from somebody and then it doesn't happen for them after following their advice, they feel like they're not doing enough. Something's wrong with them. They must be a failure. They're a failure. It didn't work. Look at it work for everybody else without realizing, without go checking in to their own self and asking, is it even right? Does this even feel aligned? Is this even what I want to do? Do I want to even spend my time doing these things anymore? Would something be easier? Would something be a better fit? So here's the message I want you to take away from today, because this is like the point I have. When it isn't working out, or even if it was working out and then all of a sudden things have slowed up and it's not working anymore, when you're not seeing the results, it's either one, you still need to do the work and allow things to evolve. You still need to become the woman that has that result, that has that life. You still need to build your inner confidence. You still need to focus on how it is working versus how it's not working. And you need to give it time. Or two, you need to be honest about whether you're doing what you truly desire to be doing in a way that feels aligned and right for you. It may just not be a good fit. And most of the times, the methods of building a business or type of business that you're seeking out or you're internalizing or you're adopting, um, it just wasn't a good fit. And it's okay to try it. Do not be like, oh, I should have done that. No, great, you tried it. It didn't work. You could put that in your toolbox. Maybe it'll work later on. Maybe you'll never use it again. You tried it. You can move on. It might just have been like a waste of I mean, it's not really a waste of time and energy, right? Like, nothing's really a waste of time and energy. It just might have taken you off your path, derailed you a little bit. Um, sometimes when it doesn't feel like it's working, it's just maybe your focus in your business isn't in the right place. And I get this a lot with new entrepreneurs, especially like I had to have the website and I have to have the business cards and I have to have the blog and I have to have all these things. And a lot of them aren't selling. And they're wondering why they're not bringing in the money. And they're wanting to bring in the money quickly, but they don't even have an email list or an audience, or they're not actually showing up every single day and providing value and telling people that you have an offer. Or they're using selling strategies based off of somebody that has a successful business with a very engaged audience that they've been building for years, and they can pop in and sell something and it's sold out in a minute because they have a very engaged audience that's always watching them and can't wait to work with them. That same strategy can't be used when you're just starting your business because you don't yet have that loyal following. You don't have people that are constantly watching you and listening to your podcasts or reading your blogs. And so you have sometimes a longer runway to selling a program or a product because people are still warming up to you. And so sometimes it's just shifting your strategy to match where you are, or getting very intentional about, I am going to set the intention, I'm going to get really good at talking about my product and service. And that's when it starts to quote unquote work because you are building a deeper connection to your own business. One of the most beautiful things in life that I think we all don't honor and respect or realize the magic of is that we are all unique. You are unique, and your strategy needs to be as unique as the life and business you're trying to manifest. Even if you wanted to start, I don't even know. I can't even think of a business right now. Let's see. You want to start a local retail shop that you sell knickknacks in, right? And your neighbor also wants to open a retail shop selling knickknacks. Your vision for your shop is going to be very different than her vision for her shop. The types of knickknacks she wants in hers probably going to look different than yours. You probably, maybe different parts of town that you can envision your store in, different clientele. You might even envision different reasons why people would come in and buy. You might have more stuff that people collect, like collectible dolls, collectible statues, maybe she just has local artists and their products in there, local jewelry and artists and little like a whole bunch of cards and stationery and stuff like that. Your vision, even if the initial business idea is identical, the vision of how it comes together going to be so different. She might continue on with her business in a brick and mortar, and you might turn yours into an online shop. So when you try to fit yourself in someone else's box, it's not going to feel right because it's not your box. It's this whole like square peg round hole situation. Your marketing strategy, you can borrow pieces from other people, right? Using TikTok, fine, great. You can use Reels, you can use Threads, whatever it is, Instagram. But the way you do it needs to be as unique as your vision, as you are. Somebody else is going to use it differently. It's gonna the different pictures, different videos. It's meant to be so different. And when we try to be like everybody else, that's when we start to feel defeated and frustrated because it doesn't feel easy anymore. It doesn't feel right. So I see all of these women that I just adore working with so much, and I don't want them to feel frustrated. I don't want them to feel defeated. And I want them just to focus on their business their way. um, I can see they just need the guidance around how they do it, right? But what happens is they get discouraged, and they get discouraged from even seeking help because they're afraid they're just going to be let down again. They're afraid to invest money or do things that would light them up, or courses or whatever. They don't want to invest anymore. They don't want to, which is kind of good, right? Stay in your lane, but also the fear of I'm going to be let down again. So they just whenever they get stuck, they kind of spin in their wheels, right? Like they just like stay and they're spinning and they're on this treadmill and they just keep doing, but they're stuck. They're not going anywhere. They're staying in the I don't know mindset. They're unhappy with they are, so they're in this lack mindset, and that's not producing abundance and clients and money. They're not trusting or knowing how to trust and listen to their own intuition because they've given away their power so much to other people. And there's so much conditioning and fears and limiting beliefs clouding what they truly desire. um, and the disconnect really is in trusting our own intuition over seeking outside validation and advice all the time. We are just taught to seek advice all the time. Ask our moms, ask our parents, ask our teachers, ask anybody. Tell them how, instead of trusting that if we have a vision, we also have the inner roadmap. And this is where intuition is so important. It's literally part of the equation of being successful. Those people that are billionaires, they might have had mentors, but they did it their own way. Even when people said, don't do it that way, they're like, I feel like I need to do it this way. And that they just stayed in their lane. And I think we need to build this ability, to discern and have the permission to filter out what doesn't feel right in our business, in our life, and then the confidence and trust to do it our way. Um, the early stages of business are so hard. I wish people would be more honest about that, to be honest. um, it's not easy. I remember I had a coach that kept saying it gets to be easy, and it took years for me to understand what she meant. It gets to be, and I don't like to say easy, it gets to be easeful. Easy, no, it's hard. Easeful means that you can do it in a way that feels aligned and right, where you don't hesitate showing up and doing it that way. You don't feel like you have to do it another way because the way you do it just feels right. That's the way it gets to be easeful. But we're just you get started and you're just so vulnerable and you want to be successful so much, and you want your business to be your reality, and you also want to know all the secrets to success, right? You want to know how to be successful. You want to know, I think when you say I want to know how to be successful, reframe that to I want to know, I want to connect to who I need to become to be successful. I think that's the biggest shift, right? When you say I want to know the secrets to success, I want to know the secrets to getting the clients, I want to know the secrets to getting all the money, right? That takes the power out of you and puts it outside of yourself. That there are secrets that other people know that I need. But if you switch that thought to, I want to connect to who I need to become in order to be successful, not outside success, your success. Then you turn it inside to you. Who do you need to become? Who do you need to trust? You, right? um, what do you need to do? What do you need to lead with? And this is such a big part of really staying in your own lane really staying focused on your plan and your business and your goals, your way, is to really think about who you're going to be 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years down the line. What are you doing? What are you believing? We don't want to feel like we don't know enough or that we're an imposter. That's what makes us gather all the outside knowledge we can and throw it at the wall, even if it doesn't feel aligned to our vision, right? We want to be more intentional and more focused on our goals and our dreams, because the people out there that you're looking at that you might join a program, if you're joining the program and doing it the way they say to do it because that's how they got it, you're kind of borrowing their dream and their vision. Now, if you decided that that's how you wanted, right? If somebody is showing you how to build your business on Instagram completely, 100%, do it all on Instagram, and you're like, that is my vision. That's what I want to do. That's how I envision my, right? Great. That's the perfect course for you. That's a perfect program for you. That's a perfect place to get knowledge. But it starts with you to decide how you want it to be first. Maybe you don't want to use social media at all and you just want to network in your community. Great. Great. You made that decision. Then you filter everything through, every decision through. That's the way I want to do it. This is about creating this beautiful filter. And the filter is always how you want to do it, how you envision it going, how it's going to feel for you. That's why it's so important to connect to that future version of you. How is it going to feel when you're doing it that way? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How are you showing up every day? Then you filter every decision through, is that going to give me the vision? So here is my message for you today. If you're feeling this way, if you found yourself caught up in, I'm not feeling successful, I don't have the clients, I don't have the money, it's not working, I keep showing up. If you're feeling stuck in your business, if you feel something's not right, if your business or how you're doing things or how you were taught to do things doesn't feel aligned for you, if it's just not growing, it's just not going where you envisioned it to go, these are just five, I guess it's seven, seven what are journal prompts to stop and think. This is the check-in for you. Stop for a minute and focus on why you started your business. I did this recently. My business, it was successful in certain aspects, right? My group coaching programs were filling up. I had clients. My podcast was doing great. There were all aspects that were great, but something always felt aligned. And it just wasn't how I had wanted my business to go. It wasn't how I wanted to spend my time. And so I had to revisit my why. When I started my business, what was the vision I initially had? So, what's the vision that you initially had when you were like, I want to start this business? What skills did you want to use? How did you want to help people? Really get back to that vision, that why. Number two, you're allowed to ask yourself if you even want to do your business this way. It's so amazing to get on these calls with these women who had, especially those that started businesses they really didn't want to start because people told them, well, your business, I had this one. Your business idea isn't going to make you money. You should pivot and coach. And she didn't want to coach. She was selling jewelry. And I remember she even spent like $5,000 on a coaching course, training program. And she's like, I don't want to do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And when we got back to her excitement about her jewelry business, it was just amazing. The ideas that flowed out of her. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so the right business for her. Like, we don't know how much money she's going to make or how it might just lead to a next business idea or an expansion idea. Um, and so ask yourself if this is even the business you want or if how you're doing business is the way you want to be doing it. If it feels hard and unmotivating, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to show up on video. If it feels like this uphill battle, then it might be time to ask yourself if how you're doing business is aligned for you. You can pivot. You can decide. I know everybody's doing. I went on TikTok once. I'm telling you, I have no account on TikTok. I had an account for a day, and I hated it so much. And everybody's like, this is when TikTok was really big, and people are like, you should definitely be on TikTok. And somebody's like, have booked out programs from TikTok, and TikTok made me nauseous. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. I don't jive with this. This is not the energy I want to be in. Never went back on it. Right. I had to make that decision of, is this even aligned for what I envisioned for my life? And then ask yourself, how do you want to run it? How do you want your business to look? How do you want your life to look? How do you want to show up every day? Then ask yourself, what is working? Where does your business light you up and work for you? What is the one next step that will bring your progress to the next level? Focus on this is such a simple business strategy. Focus on what's easy and works for you. If you can blog all day long, I don't see why you have to go live on Facebook right now. If you just want to blog, just shoot out those blogs. I mean, if you can get lost in doing something, just do it. If it lights you up and it excites you, you'll figure out how the money will come. That's how you're going to get to the next step. If you are so excited about a program or a product you're selling, just get out there and talk about it. Choose the platform, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Put your intention behind it. That's the excitement around your product and your service is the next step. That's it. It's the next step. Just get out there and talk about it. Number 4, reflect on how you've gained confidence and knowledge since you've started. A lot of times we get stuck in this spiral of like, I don't know enough, I don't know enough, I don't know enough, I don't know enough. Imposter syndrome takes over, and you don't even realize the amount of knowledge you've accumulated in your lifetime, the natural gifts you have. Even since you started your business, you have gained knowledge. You have enough. You don't need more right now. Number 5, where are your strategies unaligned to where you are in your business? So, we talked about this before, right? If you're newer in business, your strategies are going to be different than if you are $1 million business. What will work for businesses that are like, scaling, tripling their income aren't the same for businesses just starting out. So with where you are now, how do you need to focus your marketing efforts and your sales efforts to bring in clients? A lot of the clients I was working with were doing things that were like step 3 or 4 in the building the business process. Not the like a lot of them were focusing on things that they didn't even have clients yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how much time have you spent on this? And it's like, have you offered anything to anyone? Have you, are you on an Instagram, a social media platform or an email list, right? You might need to check in and be like, okay, what do I need right now? I mean, my coach says, I just finished my second certification program with her. And, you know, as a coach, all you need is a way to find the clients, a way for them to pay you, a way for them to schedule the call, and a way for you to host the call. End of story. 4 things is all you need. That's it. You don't need anything else. That's it. So maybe you have to do more one-on-one communication with people, that maybe they become new followers on Facebook, or they just joined your email list. Maybe you need to you're at the stage of your business where you need to do more intimate outreach. Maybe you need to do more free masterclasses or live videos for people to get to know you. Maybe you need to do a series of emails that launch into a program, right? Maybe you need a longer runway. You need to know where you are in your business. Number 6, where can you let go of outcomes and stop comparing every action to a specific desired outcome? If you fell into the promise that you can make $10,000 months in 90 days and you're measuring every single action by whether you hit that goal, you're going to feel frustrated, defeated, and as if you failed. But if you focus on that abundance mindset of one person liked my video, one person watched my video, one person signed up for my email list, and you give them your all, that's how you get to $10,000 months. Your goal shouldn't be in 90 days. your goal should be $10,000 first. You have to get to your first $10,000 before you can get to $10,000 months. You have to get to your first $100 before you can get to your first $1,000, before you can get to your first $5,000. But if you're constantly measuring every single day by I didn't hit a goal, you are always going to feel defeated. And finally, how can you trust your own gut without needing to ask for outside validation and advice? How can you practice checking in with yourself first and letting your desired way of doing things, desired decisions you want to make be what's best for you? Okay. So I know this is rambling. This was just like my brain dump of reactions to all of these things coming up this past 6 months. So I hope this was helpful. This was, your, I don't know, this is a way to help you get back your autonomy, right? Your power to know you have what it takes and you don't need the surefire strategies to get there, that you are doing what's best for you. You started this business because this is what you wanted and you had a vision, and you just need to get back to that. You just need to trust yourself. Keep it simple. Start where you are right now in business and learn to build this filtering system where you filter all the ways you could be doing business through the filter of, is this right for me? And most importantly, and I can't emphasize this enough, trust the evolution. Building a business is a process. It is a marathon, not a race. It is a roller coaster of ups and downs with moments of consistency in between. So pace yourself, stay in your lane, perfect one thing at a time, and stop looking around to see if you are further enough or farther enough along, if you're comparing to everybody else. The way the universe works is that your external reality will shift and you'll see results you desire when your thoughts, beliefs, and actions match what you envision for your life. So if you're not there yet, then you just need to keep going and make small tweaks and check in with yourself. And then eventually you'll become a match and you'll start to get the results that you desire. So I hope this was helpful. I know, again, just kind of a lot of themes that came up over the last 6 months, and I wanted to share them with you. I will be back next week. I have some really great podcast episodes outlined for the rest of the year that I'm super excited about. Hopefully my cough will go away and I can get more and more out. I'm hoping to get a few out a week in December. So there'll be a little bit more towards the end of the year. But anyway, I will see you all next week. Thank you all for listening. Bye.
Hi, lovely. Thank you so much for listening to the Fearless Female Entrepreneur Podcast. You might have been listening along and thinking, I'm ready. I'm ready to become the woman who has all she desires. I'm ready to finally live my dream life and business. Well, listen in. If you're tired of sitting on the sidelines watching everyone else succeed, wondering when you'll make your dreams happen, if you want to step into unwavering confidence and show up in your life and business with a renewed energy and unstoppable mindset, if you want to stop second guessing or letting doubts and fears stop you, if you are ready to feel purposeful and fulfilled and abundant and joyful in all areas of your life, then Breakthrough is perfect for you. Breakthrough is my signature coaching program, and we work together one-on-one to guide you to release the shoulds and finally call the shots in your life and business. This is where you make powerful, transformative shifts in your mindset, beliefs, perspectives, and actions so that you're leading yourself to live life and create a business your way. This program is designed to help you find what's holding you back, completely reframe your beliefs so you lead with empowering thoughts, deeply connect to what you desire and who you will be when you get there, and have you leading your thoughts, beliefs, and actions every single day so that they truly align to what you desire to be experiencing in your life. So, if you're interested in learning more, visit www.startkatarinakormas.com/breakthrough info, or send me an email at katarina@truejoyexperience.com, and let's jump in.